Craig Hope reporting today that Newcastle United always had the intentions of revisiting the James Trafford deal. You guys talked about it a bit earlier, I think, but we want to put it out to the panel. I'm told Burnley keeper believes he can still join this week. He thought it was close earlier in the summer. Personal terms, not an issue. I hope not an issue. And the guy that I mean, well, it can't be that bad. But he will need Newcastle to loan or sell at least one or both Vlachodimos and Dubravka. And at this point in time, man, I'm lost. I think who was the person that put this out at I think Kendall Rowan, I think is her name, and I retweeted it. Because she put, we need a right wing, we need a center back, but the club says, let me get another goalkeeper. What is the point? Say you made a mistake, you didn't get rid of Dubravka, great. Things happen, right? I don't think it should happen anyway, but things happen. Why are you looking for James Trafford? What is the point? You already got Vlachodimos. He's not old.
Hey, Vlachodimos is 31, isn't he, or 30? Trafford's 21. So Vlachodimos was basically a signing through necessity, but they don't want him there, so they'd probably try and get rid of him and bring in the young goalkeeper or something.
We see it in the NFL a lot, Chris, or in the other pro sports in America. A player will sign with the team and then we'll get rid of him right away for reasons, stuff like that.
What I find interesting, Steve, is would Vlachodimos have known that coming in? Would he have been told, you're coming in, but we'll probably loan you straight out? Or was he coming in with the impression that he was going to be the number 2? Or how has this all happened,
I have no idea. All these goalkeepers must just be like, I don't know. I mean, everyone's behind Pope. That's all That's the only thing I know.
Maybe they thought they were re-signing Manquillo. I don't know. It was very strange.
Yeah.
Well, that's the big question, man. I just don't know. You say we're going to loan Vlachodimos out. He's 30, you say.
Yeah.
What's the point of that? What help me understand what's the point.
They never want. I don't think they ever wanted him. He just had to be a make weight to bump up the Anderson fee so that we get enough for PSR. So
it says Gary in jail for giving Murphy 5 on the match review. Do we have to? Oh, we got to do it. He put the super chat in, man. We have to do it, Gary.
I'm there, man. I'm there. I'll take it. I'll take it on the chin. All I'm saying to you is, if you have a look at a lot of others, it didn't go far away from my points.
There you go. But yeah, it's because giving 4 and a 5 is the same damn thing there, man. And it was over.
It's lovely seeing somebody in jail from the outside.
Yeah,
from the free world.
Well, now you're gonna have to get conjugal visits, man. Oh man,
absolutely.
Absolutely with the old man. Okay. All right. Let's get back in it though. Let me get to Gary from jail.
Just visiting.
I know you're gonna have a reason for this because you always do have a reason for something. But what is the excuse now, man? What's the point of wasting time with this guy?
With Trafford?
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Trafford was the target initially, but I also think that you've got to look at like the Ruddy was, you could say a source. He was a free agent. We needed a goalkeeping coach. They've used Ruddy as part of that goalkeeping coach as a professional keeper. You've got a lot more. You've got a lot more knowledge of about the goalkeeper, and I think that was a really good sign. I know people are going to poo-poo it, but I don't think that was a bad signing. It's cost us very little. He's not on much wages, and what you get from him is that professional outing as well as the camaraderie. And I know people say you don't buy players for the backroom stuff. Mate, we've had Gillespie in the back room for I don't know how many years now, making tea and biscuits and stuff like that. And I think what you've also got to take on board is Gillespie was given the 12-month contract because it was a gamble, because obviously the European slot on the 7th was always going to be. They also was going to give Dummett a 12-month contract extension. There was also going to give Richie a 12-month contract extension if we reached that pinnacle. So, like I said, it was a gamble. It hasn't worked. Take Ruddy out of the equation because, like I say, they were looking for a goalkeeping coach. Then you come down to Vlacho. Vlacho obviously was part of a deal to get us out of the PSR for both clubs absolute rubbish. It's not what we want to be hearing. But I'd rather take Vlaco for the 20 million than face 12-point deduction. And that's what you've got to start looking at the wider angle of where we were stuck.
Right.
And for me, 12 points, if you think of any team that have managed to scrape back 12 points and still finish in the top 6, I'd like to see them.
Now,
no chance.
Question on that. Is that a fact that it will be 20 points or 12 points, whatever, or is it case by case?
It is case by case.
You have to assume the worst. You have to assume the worst. I think that's
it is case by case.
I don't think it would have been 12, would it? Do you think that many, Gary?
12?
Well, again,
on an appeal, we could have got like 9, let's say.
Well, no, let's
say 9. Because I think I think it would have been like 6. Gary thinks 12, so let's say 9.
Okay. Well, if you look at where Everton were, and Everton were initially given 10 points, which was reduced because they were stopped that loan agreement or something like that, which would have reduced their costs, and it was nullified. And they managed to scrape 4 points back when they obviously went to the tribunal. Now, for us, being Newcastle, and for me, they would want to make a statement. We were around the 70 million mark over the PSR. Now, if you take 35 million, which is what you're expecting for every 3 points, that's an auto. For me, that would be, if you look at, say, 6 points. And then you've got to think of what else could they have thrown the book at us. I said 12 points. I'd accept 10 points if that's what they were going to give Everton. And that's what I said. It would have been making that statement for us. And I didn't want us to go down that road. And that's what I said.
You not think that we would have put the lawyers in there and said, right, okay, what are you doing about Man United then? How come they got a lay-by when it was COVID and we didn't? Like, where's the fairness in that? Like,
according to all that, though, it affected their tours, and I think that's what they were symbolising, the fact that they had a tour planned, and the tour then cost them money because they'd already paid the outlay, and they drew that back from the Premier League, and that's why they got 40 million and we only got 1 million. That's what they state. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's fact, but that's what they state.
Well, would it have been different if we just said, look, okay, we'll take 23 million, let's say, for Anderson. We don't want Vlachodimos. Screw that. We're just going to take 23 million, let's say. Then we would only have been like 12 million off the PSR, let's say, for example, because that's what made the difference, wasn't it? So I think what would they give you for 12 million? They give you a point or two, wouldn't they? Part of me kind of feels like I get it, but now we're lumbered with this goalkeeper that I don't think any of us want, really. I feel a bit sorry for him, but everything I've seen of him.
But the thing is,
the guy's
I'll be honest. When he played, a few times he played, he wasn't decent. So to be a backup,
didn't do it for me.
But Helsuzar bailed Gary out, of course. That was quick, by the way. This is the quickest bail we've had. Mighty win. They let him linger for actually add on to the bail. But it's just he talks more.
Sean.
There you go.
Yes.
Thank you, Sean.
I understand where you're coming from, DX. But it's like I said. There was certain panic behind the scenes, wasn't there, in the 11th hour? Because, like I said, both players were in Nottingham, in a hotel, not knowing where they were going. Brighton obviously came in for Minte. It must have been quite late on, and Minte was down south. But at the point, nobody knew who was going where because they were still finalising the deal. And they have to agree on a price for each player for us to get beyond the PSR. And that's what I'm saying. We are all just in the air at the moment. We'll know more in January when the finances become public. But I think we were in a lot more mess than we expected to be.
I wonder if we'd had the 40 million, because it was a 40 million bid for Minte, wasn't it, at first, from a French club, Strasbourg? Yeah. Strasbourg's team. So if we'd had the 40 million there, I wonder if that would have covered it without Anderson having to leave, maybe. Or without
they reckon 65 million was the questionable target.
We might not have had to have done the deal for the goalkeeper.
Well, apparently, we not only that, but we needed the 20 million or whatever it was that we got off Man United for Ashworth.
Yeah.
Wow, in the nick of time too. But just reporting what's out there. TalkSport does corroborate this information that we're after James Trafford, but at the same time, Lee Ryder from the Chronicle saying that sources play down James Trafford talks as club is focused on winger and a defender. Although stopper is admired. What is left for Oliver Kahn? But we'll have to continue to monitor, of course. Beer Viking putting him in jail again, back in the serial offender justice for Miggy. There you go. So, hey, but it is what it is, man. You got to pay the price. We're all subjected. Nobody's ever put me in jail, which is lovely. But these people have common sense.
How can you give anybody a number if they've only played 2 minutes and only touched the ball once?
True.
I'm sorry. Well, it's harsh. It's harsh, but true.
Yeah. All right. So we got this. This James Trafford stuff. We'll have to wait and see. Don't want to dwell too much on the foul. Steve, I haven't get your takes on the match, mate. What do you think
on the Bournemouth game? For real, man. I wasn't impressed with the performance outside of maybe 20 minutes, somewhere around there. I thought we were okay. Overall, though, I think Bournemouth created the more dangerous chances. I think we definitely looked far better offensively. Still some concerns, though, just in terms of the tempo of the game completely escaping our control. I never felt like we had control of the game. Because you don't, and that's with or without the football. Because you can control games with or without the football. You can control territories. You can control where the other team can or can't go. Use your physical, all that kind of stuff. So I just never felt like we were in control. And that's what it feels like every time we play Bournemouth, especially under Iraola.